Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. We're going to pick up right where we left off with Lorna and her party making their way out of the verdant circle, away from the
Bye,
verdant grove,
Grandma.
out into the rimwood.
Which should be nicer. She's got her little friend of the circle laurels on.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and just activate the new splash. As we continue on, where is this? We're in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I was looking for my woods playlist, not just we're in the woods. Okay, so first and foremost, I need you to roll me some dice because we have a lot of travel ahead of us.
Sure do.
And
Tier
Tier
expected like
is
4-ish days
to get where?
to Shona.
Yeah. We're going to see how quick and how right he is. Because as we look... hold on a minute. Let me just pull this up. Yeah. If you make good time, you might be able to make it in 4 days. If you make it in bad time, might be a week.
Which is why we decided to leave right away.
Yes.
Because we have a week and a half to get there within the allotted month time.
Correct. That was a good decision. So please, Pen, if you don't mind, roll me a d6.
I can do that. 4.
A 4. Okay. As all of you are making your way through the rimwood, which you actually, as the rimwood is not hindering you, moving your way east out of the rimwood towards the dry marches, towards Shona, you don't, Tier at least, doesn't anticipate to be in the rimwood for very long. Maybe a day, half a day, depending on how smooth it goes. As you and your party are making your way through the rimwood, you cross a rocky outcrop. And behind it, at least 10 feet across, Tier points out, "Do you all see that?" And he's pointing at an enormous footprint.
Oh. Yes. Now that you point it out, what is that?
This footprint
Right?
appears to be the shape of a humanoid, but it is massive. It is pressed into the soil, clearly crushing underbrush down into it. Easily 8 inches down into the soil. It's just one. You don't see another one, at least not immediately close by.
What kind of giant is that?
I don't know. Nothing I've ever seen. That's absolutely massive.
Mm-hmm. Some giants are friendly to little people like us, right?
Yeah, some. Some are not.
Right. So we shouldn't bank on benevolence and probably just lay low.
Have you ever seen a footprint this big? And he's like looking at your whole party. You can roll history to see if you know of anything that might be this big.
Or
That is of humanoid shape.
natural 20. 28.
With a natural 20 for a 28. Yeah.
I was just letting him have a chance answer, but I guess if he doesn't have it, she'll just tell him.
You think about it, and you look at the shape of the footprint, and you realize, at first the footprint looks like it's a boot shape. Like it's round on the front and back, like it's got actual treads. But when you think about it and you consider the size of it and where you are and how close you are to the dry marches, there's only one creature that comes to mind that is big enough and heavy enough to make a footprint like this. And that's an Earth Titan.
Oh. Is that good, bad, neutral?
Roll Arcana.
Okay.
This is a much lower DC for what you know about Earth Titans.
21.
Earth Titans are crossovers from the plane of Earth, and they are in much the same mentality as everything else on the plane of Earth. They are neutral to goings-ons and events in the prime material. So, an Earth Titan would probably not wish you ill will or benevolence. It would just not care about you.
Unless I made myself a problem.
Unless you became a problem to it, yes. That being
let's
said,
just not do that.
they might crush you on accident, but
okay.
they would see stepping on you as the same as stepping on a sapling or a tree. They wouldn't care.
Right. Okay. So she would relay that information and just say, so if we feel tremors or shaking earth, we should be careful so we don't get stepped on. It's not going to go out of its way to step on us, but if it steps on us, it won't really care.
That's not a fight we could win, is it?
Why would we want to fight it?
I'm not saying that we should. I'm just saying if we ended up in a fight with one, Anscombe looks at Tyr and he says, let's not even humor the idea.
Right. The only reason that it would want to fight us is if we pissed it off on purpose. So let's just not do that, and we'll be fine.
Do you think maybe we could see it?
I don't know.
I just...
It'd be very big.
Of course it'd be big, but, I mean, if we happen across it...
You want to see it?
Yeah. It's the stuff for legend, isn't it?
I could get a bird's eye view. If you wanted one.
You don't have to. I'm just saying if we could get an idea of where it might be, I'd love to get a look at it. You don't know what kind of inspiration you can get from seeing a moving mass of land.
I mean, I could go up right now and see if I can see it. I imagine it shouldn't be too hard to spot. If it's this big.
You know, with your Arcana on Earth Titans, when they are on land, they can blend in anywhere they want.
Sure, but it'd be moving, right? I guess not necessarily. It could be taking a break.
Yeah, you don't know.
Just be a mountain. Well, if we feel tremors, we'll talk about it then.
Fair enough.
Let's just be
unless you think, that big metal guy from the fall festival's walking around out here.
No, I don't believe so.
All right.
But he seemed like a nice guy, so it's, if we happened to run into him, I'm sure we'd be fine in any event.
All right, can we just keep moving in case he happens to
let's
come
go.
marching by?
And step on us.
So you find these Titans' footprints, and you keep moving. It is actually to cross over the footprint, you have to step into it and down, and it is like stepping off the curb onto a street. It is a real dip into the footprint. And you can feel the soil is impacted hard and pressed down as you do. It's like the soil is harder here. Roll me a perception check, Lorna, as you walk over it.
24. I'm rolling pretty good right now. Hope it stays that way.
Oh, okay. Roll me a d10.
4. Do I find something it stepped on? 8.
With a 24, as you walk over it, the glowing golden light of Pyrrhus gleams off of something twinkling red that is pressed into the footprint.
She scurries over to it. What does it look like from?
You see pressed into the soil is like the size of a fist, an uncut ruby.
He dropped something. I'm gonna pluck it up.
It is heavy. It is a big stone. It's a chunky piece, and it looks like it was like there's still like other smaller stones pressed into it. You imagine this broke off on the underside of the Titan's foot.
Oh, it's Bunyan, basically.
Basically, but it's a ruby, so.
Do you think I could approximate its worth? Eyeballs, guess.
Roll me a history.
Sure. I've
Based
sold
on what
gems
you know.
before. Another fantastic roll, another 24.
As it is, uncut,
Keep it.
it's probably not worth a whole lot. But if you cut it and get it a clean surface, maybe 800 to 1,000 gold.
Oh. She starts salivating.
You all right?
This is
This
gonna
is
be
an
worth
apple?
something if you
Holy
polish
shit.
it up. I know, right? That'd be a good shape for it.
And
Little
Tyr
apple?
immediately like starts looking around in the footprint for any other fallen stones.
That's a good idea. Maybe quick break, guys. Just see if you could find something else.
Everyone
But, keep an ear
immediately
out.
like, okay, so everyone immediately drops to the ground, and then when you say keep an ear out, Anscombe like stands up and he says, I'm sure you'll fill me in. And he steps up out of the footprint.
He's gonna listen in case this
Yeah.
guy comes stomping back.
The whole party can roll investigation as they search this footprint for any other
Fuck
stones.
Yeah. Dirty 20.
Okay. Skolna has a natural 20.
Fuck yeah, Skolna.
As the party searches in the ground, panning through it, like sifting, you see Skolna like takes her dagger and is like sliding it through the soil, uplifting like pressed chunks of dirt. You don't find any more stones, unfortunately. You
Nothing
find
else
lots
is
of, I mean, you find lots of granite and other like hard
Sure.
rock that's pressed into the soil, but you don't find any other valuable stones. Nothing worth collecting.
All right, it was worth a try. We still have this beauty.
Nothing is quite profound, as he kind of brushes his knees off, and Anscombe says, nothing approaching. Do we want to keep
Great.
moving?
I think so. We've spent enough time here, I think.
You and your team gather themselves, and you move on. Okay, please roll me a d6.
4. 6.
Okay. Hold on, I'm pulling up this note.
Mhm.
Okay, roll me a... What would this be? Okay, let me just set the scene for you.
Okay.
You guys have been walking for another hour or so into the woods, and as you travel, the trees have still made it convenient. You're not being pressed upon, and Tierra's leading the way smoothly, finding a straight path, even though it almost looks like you shouldn't be able to. And yet, there's a small clearing that you see with your passive perception. You're pretty sure Tierra sees it as well as his head kind of turns, but he doesn't stop to look. There's a stag fallen in a small clearing. It's a very small clearing. However, with your high passive investigation, as you kind of glance over at it, you spot a gleam of something black. Something black is in the side of this fallen stag.
And she would kind of grab the back of Tears, like jerkin.
Hmm?
Oh, I see something.
What is it?
Something sticking out of that stag. Arrow, maybe? Some sort of whatever felled it?
You point it out to him, and even as you point it out, you look at it. It is bigger and wider than an arrow. It is like From
Jello?
here, it looks like the size of like a hand jutting out of the side of the stag, out of its chest.
Like it's the width of a hand?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. You see that?
I see it. We should take a look. It might be
I think so too.
something important.
As Lorna gets closer, can she use her staff to activate detect magic? She has her
Ah,
eyeballs, her magic
yes.
eyes.
You can indeed.
What do my special eyes see?
Let's see here. A moment. You see there is a hint of magic on this black thing sticking out of the side of the stag. And as you're approaching, you realize, and both you and Tierra immediately realize, the stag is alive.
Oh no, poor thing.
It is like very quietly whimpering.
Oh no.
This thing that's stuck in its side, it looks like black stone, but as you're getting closer, you realize it's obsidian, and it is a dagger, though it is kind of a crudely made one. There is a lingering enchantment on the dagger, but it is not like casting a spell. It's not as though there is an effect that the dagger is performing on the stag. The dagger itself is bound to something. You see magical tethers to something that it seems almost like to vanish into the ether with your detect magic. The closest school of magic you can see is conjuration.
Oh, this is terrible. We should heal it or end its misery.
As you and your party kind of gather around the stag and look at it, Tier says, "That is a nasty looking dagger. I'm not opposed to trying to heal it, but do we pull it out, or
I can pull it out with my mage hand.
Okay.
Do you think you could heal it after I pull it out?
Maybe I should heal it at the same time.
Right, or it'll bleed out, probably.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing they teach you whenever you start studying medical practice is to never remove,
Unless you're prepared to heal it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. And Tier, pulls out his components of, a long sprig of God's beard, and he steps down next to the stag. And the stag is, looking up at him. It's... Roll me an insight check.
Sure. 15.
Something about the stag, as it looks up at Tier and at you, makes you aware. You think it's more intelligent than a typical stag.
Okay, well then they're definitely doing the right thing, she thinks. She'll actually look at it when she grips the handle with the mage hand and say, "Just hold still, we're going to help you."
The stag does not seem to reply.
She didn't expect that.
Tier says, as he's got the sprig in hand, he presses a hand down on the stag, and he kind of seems a little alarmed as he says, "Oh, it's cold. All right. On 3, eh?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. And I need you to...
Pulls it out.
I need you to roll me a spellcasting check.
Okay. 30.
30, okay.
Natural 19 plus 11.
The dagger slides out, and as it does, the Cure Wounds passes through the stag, and you watch as the wound knits itself shut as the dagger is being pulled away. The stag rests its head on the soil as it is removed, and it lets out a deep, like an unnatural sigh. And then it vanishes into mist.
Okay, not what I expected to happen.
No. No. That's a new one.
Has anyone heard of vanishing stags?
Roll a history. Actually, I don't think you could know this. Hold on.
27. 2 natural 19s in a row.
With a 27, you have heard of... You have heard of visions being placed in the prime material almost as tests by gods, fiends, druids, genies. You've heard of things that like sailors and travelers will describe as strange and miraculous events, and really they were just tests placed there by more powerful beings. And considering the fact that you're in a very Fey-influenced forest, you get the feeling that this was a test of some kind, but you don't know by who or why.
Is the dagger still present, or did it fade
Yeah,
away
it's
as well?
it's floating in the mage hand.
Okay. I don't necessarily know why, but I think we may have been judged for our actions here.
Okay. Kindly?
At least we weren't dicks about it. That's gotta count for something, right?
I mean, we did everything we could.
Sure. I'd like to take a look at this, if you all don't mind the 10 minutes it'll take.
Okay.
Just keep an eye out in case something's watching us.
The party kind of like spreads out, setting up to pay attention.
She'll ritually cast Identify to see what's going on with this weird ass dagger.
Hang on.
And we can add it to Skolna's collection.
Okay. You learn... Okay, so this obsidian dagger, its blackened blade, does not reflect any light. The stone of its material feels strangely warm, as though it had been resting near a fire, rather than buried in living flesh. And as you cast Identify on it, you feel almost as though you, like, are isolated with it, as if the world around you is quiet. And the obsidian, what your Identify tells you, this dagger was never meant to be wielded. It was meant to be left behind. And it was planted in the stag as a seal, not a wound. The dagger holds a sliver of binding magic, but it has faded over time. You know that it once served as a tether, keeping something contained.
Oh.
The enchantment was weakening, and now that it is gone, you don't know what the consequence is. You know that the magic within is, it's not divine nor arcane. It is natural in nature. Carved along the base of the blade is a name, but it's a script you don't recognize, and the Identify does not reveal it to you.
Counterpoint. I have Eyes of the Runekeeper. Would that help here?
Yeah, it
Read
would.
all language.
What exactly does the feature say?
It says you can read all language.
That's it? It doesn't, like, tell you...
You can read all writing. I'm reading it word for word.
Okay. The name on the dagger is Nakora.
Can you spell that, please?
Nakorra. And you
Nakora.
know the language the dagger was written in is Silvaxi.
Does Lorna know what that is?
It is an ancient language. It's one that you would have like heard of existing, like a dead language, and you're pretty sure it's a precursor to Sylvan.
Like Latin is to Spanish or
Yep,
Italian.
exactly.
Precursor to Sylvan. Okay. Um, I think she elaborates the name on it and the language that it's written in to the party, and she says it's not meant to be wielded in its state. I
You
think
tell
that
them the
might
name?
be. Yeah, she says Nakora.
You hear a whisper
Oh boy.
from somewhere distant. You have remembered.
Great.
The wind around you shifts as if the trees themselves flinch. And for a moment, the temperature around you drops as if a cool air just falls over you.
Mm-hmm. That's all that happened.
That's all that happens.
Does it seem like the rest of the party experienced that as well?
No one. No. But Tier notices the look on your face suddenly as you experience that, and he says, what happened?
So I said the name just now, and I heard something say you've remembered.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but things got a little colder.
No.
But this isn't like devilish. I know saying demon names or devil names is not good, but this has its roots in Fae. Old Fae, for sure, but how bad could that be, right?
Like Winterfell?
I'm cold. Oh, that's not
Sounds
good.
like yes.
Okay, well, so like I was saying before, that happened just now. It's not meant to be wielded, so I don't think we should use it yet. I think I need to do some deeper digging on this before we can understand what its purpose is.
Okay. Tier just looks confused, and Anscombe says, we could... I mean, we're going to an Arcanium soon anyway. We could see if there's anything there on
That's what I
that
think.
name that I'm not going to say.
Probably for the best. Maybe I should have exercised that same wisdom. Hindsight, though, you know.
Yep.
If anything weirder happens, I'll let all of you know. She's gonna mage hand it into her bag of holding.
It doesn't go in.
Okay. Like there's a field that's preventing it from going
Like,
in.
it goes into, like, the very opening of the bag of holding, and then your mage hand can't push it in. It's as though it's resisting crossing a portal into another plane.
Okay. I'm not, well, I've already fucked up, so I might as well be the one to continue this. She'll drop it into her own hand from her mage hand.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Tuck it
You're
away.
holding
Tuck it away on her person.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Before she heads out, she will think. Vicar, have you ever heard the name? She's saying this internally. Nakora before?
Vicar, hold on.
Vicar knows stuff.
Hang on. Okay. Let me pull up this note.
All the notes.
Okay. Let's see here. So you reach out to Vicar, and Vicar says... I have heard the name.
Uh-huh. Could you tell me anything about it?
It is Well, a name that should never be spoken.
Brilliant.
Names have power. You did not find her name, you remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
And that means it has remembered you. They were not a being, but a promise once broken. A contract sealed in obsidian, blood, and exile. It was cast out from Fey realms. Existence erased from their records, and all who spoke its name cursed to forget. Those who attempted to remember who they were consumed by their own memories, trapped in visions of a time that never was and never should be. I take it you have said its name?
Yes.
Then it knows you exist.
Am I going to be consumed by my own memories? I kind of already am.
I don't know. This is
Okay.
something old. I will say, you found all this after finding that obsidian dagger.
Mm-hmm.
That means I believe someone might be trying to find it. Someone else knows the name, and so it was manifest. Does that make sense?
Sure. Do you think someone will try to take it from me by force? I'll give it to them if they want it.
I do not know. I cannot
Okay.
estimate the motivations of one who we only can surmise exists based on our current evidence.
So if I should just keep an eye on if I start feeling consumed by my own memories, I suppose. Maybe break a curse. Find someone who's capable of doing that.
I do not see this as a curse.
You don't?
There is no magical effect upon you.
Okay.
This is an entity that is aware of you.
I guess it remains to be seen yet whether this is good or bad or neutral.
I have heard stories of this creature. There is no recorded knowledge on this. You must understand this is from before the isolation. This is truly ancient. Something or someone that is rumored to grant wishes to those that it becomes aware of.
Oh.
Or one that takes the lives of those they find it.
Oh,
And
I liked the first one better.
It could be anywhere in between.
Well, if I learn more knowledge on this, would you consider that valuable?
Oh, yes.
Then, bonus, right? That's gotta be a pro. I'm trying to be optimistic.
I think being realistic might be the right approach.
Okay. I'll monitor myself for dawning insanity.
I think you should find a way to ground yourself from your own memories.
Like meditate?
Meditation, clearing the thoughts, focusing on a token, having someone pull you from your sleep or deep thoughts. Anything that keeps you from being trapped in your own mind.
When should I do that? Now? Always? Often?
All the time, I think.
In case I get trapped there?
Yes.
Great. Feels like a lot. Um,
It is. I suggest you invest in magic that hardens your intellect from interference.
I was already going to do that, so good. I suppose I just need to really expedite that. Oh. Great. Okay, thank you for the warnings, I suppose.
You're welcome.
I think the journey of her facial expressions was very roller coastery, but it does end on kind of like dismay as her party watches.
Yeah. Eventually Anscombe says, are you okay?
So the guidance I have been given by my patron is that if I'm ever seemingly in a state of like I'm lost in thought and I'm hard to rouse,
Man, that happens a lot.
I know. Do all that you can to jolt me from that state, lest I be lost in my memories.
Noted.
That it just may be hard to jolt me. Is I suppose I have no idea going forward what this will do to me, but I suppose we'll see. If this was intrinsically tied to that judgment that was just performed with this stag, maybe it will approve of the choice we made and be a little more merciful on me.
We can help. It's not a bad take. I mean, if it was a test, we did do, the merciful thing.
Unless it doesn't like mercy, in which case we've done the opposite. But I hope it likes mercy.
Well, let's hope it's the kind of thing that prefers mercy.
Mm-hmm. Just feel free to slap me if I'm not answering you immediately.
All right. You don't have to tell me twice.
I thought you'd be enthusiastic about that. Let's just leave. Let's get out of here.
Good idea. And Tier begins bleeding.
Why am I like this?
What do you mean?
Why does this stuff just happen to me?
I mean, that could have happened to anyone.
That's true. Well, not just anyone could read these things, you know? Like, I just happen to be able to read long dead languages, and now I have to pay for it.
That's
Awesome.
a good point. I mean, well, maybe it'll be a benefit. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe nothing will come of it. Who knows? All right? You can't assume. You can't assume. That's all I'm going to say. And Tier begins leading the way out of the clearing. It is encroaching upon evening as you continue forward. And as you do, the warm orange light pushing through the canopies of the Rimwood begin to get more and more clear as the trees are thinning. And then right as evening strikes, you leave the last stretch of the Rimwood. And as it does, you see in front of you a massive elk. Its antlers are woven with vines and small glowing flowers, and it stands directly in your path, unmoving and watching you with piercing silver eyes.
Is it Magos adjacent? She's seen that before.
No, this is not.
Okay.
This is different.
More Fey realmy type.
This looks so. It kind of there's a something about it that reminds you of the tree sentinels outside the Verdant Grove.
Okay, so Grandma. She'll if she sees it, she'll say, "Hello."
It looks at you, and it responds with only a single cryptic phrase.
Great.
The wind does not belong to the sand. The water does not belong to the stone. Remember this when the road splits.
Remember this when the road splits.
And then the elk turns and bounds away, vanishing into the air as it does.
Weird Fey elf.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Man,
Do you
this
think
has
that
been
will
the
help us?
strangest fucking day.
So far.
All right.
I think maybe it's helping us when we are trying to pick a direction in the future.
I hope you're right. That did actually seem like potentially good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't know what the water doesn't belong to the stone means.
Or the wind does not belong to the sand. We'll parse it out when it seems relevant, I think.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Before we actually
I'm sure
get
it'll
out.
make sense.
Right, exactly. Now, this is the ranger talking. We're looking
Mm-hmm.
out, and he like gestures beyond to behind the elk, where the elk was, and it's just desert. The sand of the desert runs up right to the edge of the trees of the rimwood, and Tyr says, "That is the dry marches,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the rest of our travel is going to be through that, and we're not likely to find much shelter, so." I think we might be best if we camp early today on the edge of the trees here and strike out before dawn tomorrow so we have less of the heat of the day on us.
Right. Nora, you said you could make a tiny hut, right?
Nori nods. You want one
That's
now?
great. I think it's a good idea. And when we get into the desert proper, it'll blend in pretty well because there's not many features. So if we pick a color close to sand or sky, we'll hardly be noticeable.
Nori nods as she begins to slowly play a quiet, like, ballad on the lyre. And as she does, assembling in the same color as the edge of the rimwood is a dome around her.
Thank you.
So, as she begins to perform this, let's go ahead and get you guys set up for a watch.
And watch.
Okay. This is not what the campsite looks like, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, let's see here. Do you have any particular order that you want to have your watch in?
Um, Lorna will go first, and she'd like to do it with Skolma.
Okay. That is totally fine. Hold on a minute. Okay. So, for your first watch, do me a favor and just roll me perception at advantage.
Sure. 15.
15. Okay. Okay. And roll me a D100.
Sure. 84.
Okay. All right, so you're on watch with Skolna.
Mm-hmm.
You have any conversations or anything?
She would like to ask after she's sure everybody's, drifted off. So not at the start of their watch, but toward the middle.
Mm-hmm.
She would keep her voice quite low and look at Skolna and say, "Have you talked to anybody else about our plans to go to Malcor after this?
Skolna shakes her head. She is
Um,
like kind of within the hut, kind of looking around, which the hut is transparent from within,
mhm.
just slightly tinged, so you can tell you're in it. You can see all around you on the edge of this campsite, and Skolna looks uneasy.
um, would you like me to help with those conversations?
Roll a persuasion.
Okay. Not good. I'll use my Vicar boon since I'm about to go to bed.
Okay.
So 11 plus whatever my D10 is. 2. 13. Not great.
Skolna like puts her like head down on her forearms,
Mhm.
and eventually, after a long moment, she nods.
Okay. I know hard conversations aren't easy, but the sooner we have everybody on board with the plan, the easier it will be to plan.
What are you gonna say?
Well, it depends on what you're comfortable with, how much you feel like they need to know. I know for Lilith specifically, we're hoping to kind of broach or at least you're considering broaching it as a form of payment. Kind of make it simple, transactional, not intimate.
Skolna nods. Then
You
Skolna
could
looks up at
approach it.
you.
Oh,
Why do you trust her?
oh, well, I see myself in her, at least in the fact that we wear the same shoes, so to speak.
Wouldn't
We
trust
both found
anybody
our
that was
way.
like me.
We both found our way to the Mirror Guard for the same exact reason. We're from the same country. Um, I see a good person in her who's been forced to do things that she didn't want to do or made hard decisions that don't align with her beliefs. But when your hand is forced, you do a lot to survive.
Skolna takes a long breath. All right.
All right.
All right. It's. I'm in the same shoes, so I get it.
Okay. So, who would you like to talk to first? It doesn't have to be now or tomorrow, but if we have a game plan, we'll know what we're doing.
Anscombe.
Okay. He'll be easy.
That's why.
Right. You know, this kind of reminds me of my own predicament when I was getting close to all of you guys and trying to decide who I should tell about me and what I should tell them and how I should tell them and how much they needed to know. And I finally came to the realization that just being open and telling everything and letting them decide for themselves whether they want to help me was the right decision.
Skolna nods slowly.
So we'll tell Anscombe.
Yeah.
How much do you want to tell him?
Enough.
I guess we need to decide then what is enough.
He should know a vampire made me kill my family, and I want to kill him
Okay.
for it.
I think that's probably enough.
I don't want to get into too many details.
I don't think those are necessary. I think Anscombe's a good guy, and I think he'll want to help you just hearing that alone.
You're probably right.
And we'll say that the hope is, after we finish this thing in Shona, we're going to Malachor through the Arcanium.
I'm worried about telling Nore.
Why is that?
She's gonna ask questions.
She's curious like that. If she does ask questions, would you be willing to answer? And it's okay if not.
Maybe.
Depending on
Depends.
how she asks them or what
Depends
she
on what
asks.
they are.
Right. I do think she has enough tact that if you say or I say you know enough right now, that she'll drop it.
You're probably right.
And that just leaves Lilith.
Yeah.
And what she needs to know is, I'm assuming, this guy needs to die. Would you do it for some coin?
Skolna nods.
Easy. At least it sounds easy when you put it like that.
Skolna nods again.
Do you want to do Anscombe tomorrow?
Might as well.
Okay. We'll keep him up for our watch tomorrow and maybe just lay it out. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And everybody will be on board because I know they will be. And we can really start planning our maneuvers for when we get to Malachor.
Skolna nods again.
Is there anything you want to talk about? Or do you just want to be quiet for the rest of watch?
A lot happened.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Lorna kind of blinks. Um, are you specifically asking about what happened today with that weird dagger?
No.
Oh, but just in general.
At the circle. You cried a
I
lot.
I did. But it was good tears. I know it feels like that shouldn't exist, but there are good tears.
So,
I feel a lot better than I used to about a lot of things, I think.
so what's next?
Um,
What's after Carcerix? What's after Remus?
there is a place that Lily once had in Sarah somewhere. Um, she kept a lot of things, important things there, and to put her husband's soul to rest, we need some of his personal effects, which are stored there. So finding that place, I have a good idea where it is. Getting into it, disarming the security measures, and finding those things is what's next for me.
What's after that?
Figuring out how to put a soul to rest.
Skolna shakes her head.
Oh,
What's after?
after Malcolm and
Yes.
Lily? Well, the
We
master might happen somewhere between then, or before or after.
Skolna like dips her head and looking a little impatient, and she says, "After all of that,
After everything.
yes."
I Honestly, I don't even know if they'll get that far. I haven't put too much thought into it.
Skolna,
I
like,
don't,
looks at you.
I don't think,
Her
I mean,
violet eyes, like, pretty intense.
I mean, I might have daydreamed a little bit about what life after everything looks like, but I haven't really felt comfortable making plans.
We still work for the Merigard.
Sure, why not? If that's where my friends are,
Is that
if
what you
that's what I
want?
want to do. I feel like I owe the Merigard a lot for making me competent, at least just thus far, for helping me against the master in the ways that they have already, and probably will continue.
She looks, as you mention the master again, she looks over at Lilith and then back to you. After the master, is she staying?
Um, I think that's a conversation to be had. I don't even know if she wants to be on a team with me. She's never made it a secret that she finds me a little annoying. So, she might feel free to do whatever she wants, and maybe that will be elsewhere. Would you be open to her stay
She
if she
shrugs.
wanted to?
Skolna shrugs.
I think that's a conversation for the whole team. I don't think that's really a decision I can make if she wants to stay.
Skolna nods.
Have you thought about after?
She thinks for a long moment. Depends.
Or kind of has a go on expression.
Depends on if I'm whole at the end.
I know what you mean.
I haven't been whole yet.
You've got unfinished business.
Skolna nods.
So I guess play it by ear and see how you're feeling.
I can give you an answer once Carcerix is ash.
Okay. I hope I get to see you still.
Skull, like, quirks an eyebrow at you.
I don't know, maybe you'll feel so relieved that you'll not want to do stuff like this anymore.
She shrugs and she says, still need a job.
True.
Still need to save your stupid ass.
True. I would appreciate your continued help in that endeavor.
We'll see.
Yeah. There's
I,
a lot of things that we can't really answer right now.
and I don't make promises.
Not ones you can't keep.
She does not comment or acknowledge.
I guess never. Okay. That's fine too.
Skolna is silent.
Nora doesn't feel the need to fill that silence. She knows that sometimes silence is a good thing amongst friends.
As you kind of settle in, have your conversation, and your watch continues without incident, you eventually wake up the next watch and take your long rest, and I will roll everybody else to see what happens. Okay. Okay, hold on. Roll me a d4, please.
Sure. 4.
One moment. Okay. You are awoken as the sun's just crest the edge of the horizon.
Mhm.
The bubble of the hut disappears, and you are awash with cold air.
Oh, cold desert. Not really what you think.
Tier, is stirred awake, and he says, "Yep, that's but while the suns are down, the desert's going to be frigid.
Hmm.
All right, everyone, let's get moving." And the party resumes travel. You can click the long rest if you need it.
Well, there she is. Ooh, sweltering.
That is the nature of deserts. As you and your party continue out into the desert, I need you to roll me a D100.
Sir, yes, sir. 23.
Okay. Let's see here. $23. As you march away from the Rimwood and the suns begin to rise, and they're low in the sky, you think it might be like 7 in the morning at this point. You see there is a, half buried in the sand, what looks like a broken sled or toboggan. And you realize it's a sand skiff.
Oh.
You see there's lots of ropes that are, cut and ruined. And you see there are a couple crates that are half buried in the sand.
Well, that looks like something we could pick through, like little buzzards.
Okay. As you approach, go ahead and roll me an investigation.
She'll turn her magical eyeballs on. See if she can catch anything. 27.
With a 27, you don't see anything magical. You do see dried blood.
Oh, no.
You
All right,
see...
guys, keep your eyes open.
Yep, that's going to be the right decision here. That is the wrong music. Gosh, dang it.
Right decisions, wrong music.
Yep. Where did it go? Moment, please, while I find this. Gosh, dang ol'.
Okay, boom power.
Ding dang old thing. All right. Yeah, why was it? Okay. There we go. With your high investigation, you see that on the sand skiff, there's lots of slash marks of various weapons. Looks like there was an ambush or an attack of some kind. And half buried in the sand around it, you see peeking up where, the wind has brushed sand away. You see lizard folk? But most of them are submerged in sand. You're pretty sure there was an attack here. On the sand skiff, you see there is a half barrel of water that is still intact. And there are a number of these glass lenses that are used for starting fires. Everything else looks like it's been ransacked.
Oh, so whoever ambushed already took the valuables.
Probably.
Lorna will hold open the bag of holding so Anscombe can shove the water barrel in there.
He does. Tier is looking around and he's going to roll survival. Let's see if I can find out who is it that maybe attacked this. He looks around for a few moments, investigating the evidence of the fight. Nulls.
Oh, great.
Wild ones.
feral.
Yeah. We need to keep an eye out. That is not a happy threat to have wandering around the desert.
Mm-mm. I could have Requiem keep a bird's eye.
That'd be a good idea.
Requiem, do you know what a buzzard looks like?
Requiem thinks for a moment. No.
Can she share her visual picture of what a buzzard looks like to him?
Do you have minor illusion or Presty?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do have minor illusion.
You can just make one.
She shows him. Can you be this, please?
Okay. And he turns into a black buzzard, which is
Oh, yeah.
kind of intimidating looking as it's translucent with white eyes and everything else is
My
all black.
handsome boy.
And he's just kind of like because you showed him one with the wings like folded up, he just is floating with wings folded up like a black buzzard.
Could you pull those out?
Okay. And he
Complete the picture.
opens them and it's not quite right. Like it's close.
That's, yeah, you look great.
Where shall I scout, Lorna?
Could you just stay roundabouts above us and do circles just to keep an eye out for some gnolls? Those little monsters.
He floats up
Whoop!
unlivingly about 60
What a
feet
good
up in the
boy.
air and then begins to do circles. He doesn't... Like, at a distance, it looks like a buzzard flying.
Perfect.
But if anyone looks at it for
Upon
longer
scrutiny.
than a moment, yeah, it's clear something is very wrong. Because for one thing, he doesn't ever flap. He just kind of...
He's
Wings are
coasting
straight
on
out.
air jets, from the rising heat.
He also doesn't quite turn perfectly with his, like, circle.
He's doing his best.
Yeah, he's doing okay. He's doing a ghost's approximation of what a buzzard looks like as it's flying around, which is not accurate, but it'll do. I rolled poorly.
But he's fantastic.
Okay. Tier says, "It looks like there's still some corpses here, so knowing Knowles, we should maybe make haste. Because they might be back if they're hungry again."
Mm-hmm.
And he leads the way away from this ambush site. Okay. He rolled it really, really well. As it continues onward, I need you to roll me a d6.
Okay. Dose.
2. Okay. As you're walking along, you begin making your way through these ruins. What once was likely a fortress or some sort of battlement has long since fallen, and sand is clearly covering most of the walls. You're walking what looks like maybe between the matriculations and stone pillars that were once the tops of towers that have all long since been buried in the desert. So, like, there are stone formations that look like man-made blocks, but they are jutting maybe a foot or two out of the ground. It's pretty interesting. However, as you're walking, you and your party are finding it difficult to move quickly because the sand is so soft and giving. You're moving at half speed. This is difficult terrain.
It's like running on the beach.
It is exactly like that.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty tiring. But it's not going to exhaust you.
Lorna will fly 5 feet above the ground.
Okay.
She'll keep pace with the party, but she's not going to ruin her calf muscles.
Noted. As you continue, you make your way through and around when Tier holds up a hand. to stop.
Hmm.
You hear that?
Maybe?
He points it out, and as he does, you hear almost like this skittering of sand flowing over other sand. It's like a noise, it's very, it doesn't sound animalistic. It sounds like wind is doing something to sand. And Tier's like looking for the source of the sound, and just maybe 50 feet away to your left, there is what looks like the top of a tower. It's a round section of stone, and within it you see sand and stone gathering.
Oh,
It's
no.
very small at the moment, but it is gathering quickly.
My brain says dust.
Well, like Tier is pointing it out, and he looks back to the rest of you and he says, I have a bad feeling about this. There is a low grumble, and I'm going to show you what you see.
I am 5 feet off the ground.
Noted. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Let me go ahead and... As the sand is coalescing nearby, you see the sand seems to gather and press into each other, almost creating these jagged edges and spikes of sandstone. And as it's taking form, it is huge, with a long, spined tail. And you see that within the strange formed head of this thing, there are glowing orange eyes. And it's covered in these spines as it rises up out of the sand. Lorna, you can roll me a nature check at disadvantage.
Okay.
As can Tier.
Terrible. 8. No idea.
Okay. As it coalesces, Tier, looks back at the rest of you and he says, that's a Zafarian.
What?
It's a fire elemental beast from the Beastlands.
Great. New friend?
No! He's
Okay.
drawing his weapon. And we need to roll initiative, please.
I'm glad he said fire elemental because I was going to use fire.
Yeah, you don't think...
That probably wouldn't work.
He, has drawn his weapons, and he doesn't actually, say anything else, but Lilith pulls her swords out of her belt, and she says, I was getting bored. Finally. Hold on. Skolna's going to go first, as is normal.
I rolled pretty good for Lorna.
Yeah, well done.
It's bound to happen eventually.
Skolna looks at this huge thing. It is 15 feet high at the top of its head. It is it is huge, literally category huge monstrosity. Based on what you're seeing, Lorna, roll me an Arcana check as Skolna moves up to engage.
13. Not great.
This thing looks like it's made of a lot of stone. You imagine it is likely resistant to non-magical piercing bludgeoning. That's what you expect. Skolna runs up to beside this stone pillar thing that's 5 feet high, and she draws her own short bow. And she hits with a 21. She does not get sneak attack, as she was not hidden at all. But she does deal 11 points of piercing damage, which is halved.
We need to get her in the little some magical range.
Yep. Seeing that ineffective, Skolna is then going to move away and up by this wall and hide. Lilith's turn. She is going to look around at the rest of you. All right. Let's get ballsy. And she's going to move 15 feet because it's difficult terrain. But as she does, she's going to consider her options. Yep. She draws her longbow. That's what she's got. Okay, that is going to miss. She shoots again. And she hits. 12 points of damage halved.
Woo!
It's now the Zephyrian's turn.
Right.
It suddenly sinks into the sand.
Right.
It then appears. It moves here. And as it surges up out of the sand, I need dexterity saving throws from Nore, Lilith, and Tier.
Great. Did I avoid that because I'm floating?
You're 10 feet away from its appearance.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay, Tier succeeds. Nore succeeds. Lilith succeeds. Okay.
Good job, guys.
As it surges up out of the ground, everyone just takes a little bit of bludgeoning damage. As sand and stone up out of the ground, slamming into them, and that is 14 points of bludgeoning damage halved to everybody. So that's 7. And as it has appeared, the Zephyrian is going to multi-attack. It swings its spined tail around. The first one swinging toward Tier. And it hits. Okay. Rolling this. Tier takes 9 points of piercing damage from these tail spines. And then it swings a claw attack at Nore. And it misses. And then it's going to swing a bite at Lilith. Okay, and that totally hits. Hold on. Need this and this. Lilith takes 14 points of piercing from that. That is it for the Zephyrian's turn. As it is ending its turn, a cloud of dust begins to, like, swirl up around it. And it is lightly obscured. Lorna, it's your turn.
Lorna will look at Anscombe, and she will say, you know the drill, and cast haste on him.
Okay.
Which is a transmutation spell. So if I haste him, and if I roll an 18, 19, or 20, it will use my staff charges spell slot.
Go ahead. Roll d20. This is not.
No. Okay, but his movement is double, plus 2 to AC, which is good, because his movement is double. He can run at normal speed now. And she herself will go up 25 feet for her movement, and we will call that Gucci.
Okay. You move 25 feet up?
Directly up, yes.
Okay, so you're not
So she's
30
30
up.
feet. Yes.
All right. So now Anscombe's turn. Anscombe hasted.
Speedy boy.
Here we go again. And he runs up. He will move here, so he's flanking with Tier.
Yeah, buddy.
And he draws his... Well, he makes his long sword appear.
And the fire won't do anything, but hopefully he gives him a good whacking anyways.
He swings with advantage, which is good, because that was a net 1. And hits. Okay. He deals... Hold on. Where's the thing? Okay. Sorry about that. So, like you said, he doesn't deal any fire damage on top, but he does deal 14 points of slashing damage.
Hooray.
And it is magical, so it seems to cut right through. And then he swings again. That misses. Tries again with his hasted action. That misses.
2 attacks?
That
Both
was
that
3.
missed?
Yeah. He missed 2 of them. He hit the first one. It's now Nore's turn. Nore looks at Tier and she says, "What else do you know about this thing?" And she's preparing a spell. She saw that some of the bladed weapons don't seem to do as much as she would hope, so she's going to try and cryograsp the Zephyrian.
Yeah.
So she's going to demand a wisdom save. Hold on. It fails. Ice suddenly crawls up out of the sand and grips. So it's going to take... Oh, no, it's not a wisdom save. It's a strength save. Why does it say wisdom? It doesn't matter. It still failed. So, because I rolled a 3. All right, whatever. It's fine. Foundry was just upsetting me. It takes 16 points of cold damage, and it is grappled.
Ooh.
At the end of their turn. Okay, next. Let's see here. Tier. Tier is already flanking, and he's going to mark this thing as his hunter's mark. He turns to Nore, and he says, that's kind of it. Very strong. Can burrow, has tremor sense and things. And he's going to slash at it.
Voice cracking like a prepubescent boy.
He misses with his first swing. Swings again. He hits with the second swing.
Jesus.
Yeah. This thing's AC is 18. Okay. He deals 10 points of magical slashing damage with the scimitar. And then he offhand swings. And hits.
Hooray.
Wait, he used his bonus action to hex. He cannot offhand swing. Sorry, forgot.
Unhooray.
Yep.
I take it back.
To the top of the order, Skolna's turn.
Eat him.
Skolna, keenly aware that she didn't do a whole lot with the short bow, full moves up to this stone pillar, and draws a magical dagger from her belt and throws it.
He'll get it later.
Probably. She does not have advantage because she was not hidden. This thing has tremor sense. It knew where she was.
Suffering sucker.
But with a 22, she hits.
Hooray.
So that's D4 plus 1. Okay. That's 5 plus sneak attack. 8, 11, 14, 17 points of damage.
Nice.
And as that happens, Skolna's going to bonus action dash and climb up onto this stone thing.
Yeah.
And that's her turn. It's now Lilith's turn. Lilith is going to wrap. She winds all the way around to this side.
Rapping.
Oh, she can't go that far. She goes here. She's opposite Nore.
She upping her AC with all her movement.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Yeehaw.
And let me roll the
Love me some
d8.
invasive footwork.
Okay, her AC is now a 22.
Noise.
She's going to start making some slashes. First attack. Hits. She slashes it for 11 points of slashing. Second attack. Misses. Wait, she still has advantage. Hold on, let me roll it again. No, it got worse. Okay, second attack misses. Bonus action, third attack. Hits. She hits it for 8 points of slashing. Action surge.
Woo! Fuck him up.
Oh, that barely hits. But it does.
Hooray.
A hit is a hit. AC is
Is a hit, is
18.
it, is
She
it?
rolled an 18. Okay, and then she deals 7 points of slashing with that. The Zephyrian is now bloodied.
Yeah.
That's another hit. Okay. That's a 25. I should do math. And that, she rolled the minimum damage, 6 points of slashing.
6 points is 6 points.
And that is Lilith's turn. Okay. It is now the Zephyrian's turn. It whirls around, winding its tail spikes all around, and it's going to make a burst of these sandstone spikes just spray out in all directions. Everyone within, everyone within 30 feet, I think you're just out of it as you're 30 feet up, needs to make a dexterity saving throw. Yep. You are out of it. Just barely.
Woo.
Okay, so Lilith fails. Anscombe fails.
He has advantage.
Okay, thank you.
He's speedy.
I'll roll again. It got worse.
Buddy.
Norre succeeds.
Hooray!
Tyr fails. Skolna succeeds.
Evasion.
Yeah, she doesn't take any. But everybody else takes some damage. Six, 7, 10, 14, 19, 23,
Oof. Ouch.
25 points of piercing damage to
By
everybody
golly.
but you and Skolna.
Good thing for those temp.
Okay.
Nori succeeded.
You're right. Nori only takes half. She heals for 12. Okay. That was its tail spike flurry. As it winds around, Nori does need to make a concentration check to maintain Cryograsp, and she rolled a 1.
Norway.
Alright, Cryograsp falls. Tier must make a concentration check to maintain Hunter's Mark. Hex. And he natural 20s.
A
The duality of D&D. Tier maintains his concentration. Okay. Next, multi-attack.
Ah!
Yep. Okay, Lilith just wailed on it, so it's going to flurry at her.
22 AC.
Yeah, but it rolled a 26 to hit. So, it's 2 of these. Okay. That's 14 points of piercing damage to Lilith. And then, the Zephyrian pulls upon the swirling cloud of sand around it, and it disappears.
Son of a bitch. Like it's obscured, invisible. What's going on here?
You don't know.
Is there dust everywhere?
Yeah.
Is
It's
just
so the
not-
sandstorm is obscuring things lightly. But suddenly where you were looking at the Zephyrian, it's like it just is gone. And it reveals itself in the same movement as it attacks Skolna.
He's talking about not the Zephyrian. He can do what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But how dare he attack my purple girl?
That hits. Skolna gets clawed.
Silvery barbs.
Okay.
I love her.
Yeah, I'll roll again. I rolled better.
Oh,
So,
well,
it
advantage
still
to her anyways.
Okay. Skolna takes 15 points of piercing damage. And then it's going to bite her.
Rude.
It hits again. Okay, that's 21 points of damage. Skolna's going to uncanny dodge.
Ow.
And just take 10. And that's its turn. Lorna, you're up.
Alright, you teleport, son of a bitch. She's going to fly over it. Whoosh.
As you're
okay.
right above it, you see something interesting.
Oh.
As it has taken damage and it is now bloodied, the sand and stone that make its hard outer shell is like cracking away. And you see something in it, like not blood or guts or anything like that. It's as though there is something contained within this beast. You don't know what it is.
Core. Okay, well, she will point her staff downwards and cast lightning bolt.
Okay. Go ahead.
Dex 17.
Dex 17. I rolled a 12.
Hooray! All right. 3 charges. Kaboom boom. 26.
26 points of lightning damage. All
Like
of it
a little
goes right
thunderclap
through.
she is.
Yeah, you zap the shit out of this Zephyrian. It roars up, and it's quite upset at you.
Good. That's what you get for attacking my lavender princess.
Okay.
That was his pen.
Okay, is that your
She
turn?
didn't say it out loud.
I
Yes.
could imagine Lorna saying that and then getting stabbed. Anscom's turn.
That's what she didn't.
Anscom is still hasted. Anscom runs...
Yeah, he's got 30 feet.
Yeah, he gets all the way to the far
Yeah.
side of it, flanking with Skolna, and is going to swing. Anscom misses.
With advantage?
Yeah. He rolled a 2 and a
Jesus.
4. Roll again. Okay, that hits. That's an 18. He hits for 9.
His hasted action is 2 swings, right?
His hasted action is 1 swing.
Why not? It's another action.
It's
He has
not.
2
It's a hasted
swings.
action. You can use it to make 1 attack.
That's dumb.
Read the thing.
Read your thing.
Okay. He misses, but he will action surge.
Oh, I see. It literally says that.
Mm-hmm.
He
That
says
hits.
sassily.
Well, read your spells. That is 10 points of slashing damage. And he swings again. And he misses again. In frustration, he's going to second wind. Just top himself back off. Okay, let me find that. Yeah, he's back up to... He's full. Okay. Next, Norre. Norre, looking at all this going on, seeing that her spell fell off, is going to draw her own magical rapier and is going to dart up to it and flank with Anscombe. She's going to make a slashing flourish. Natural 20.
Nice.
14, 15, 20 points of damage.
Yeah.
Plus the bardic. Okay. As Norre darts up to the Zephyrian, she thrusts her rapier up into the head of this monstrosity. And as she does, the whole thing collapses. Sand and soil and stone fall to the sand. The golden light that seemed to compose it giving away immediately as the creature is destroyed.
Does Lorna see whatever comprised its innards?
Yeah. You see...
So swoop down.
Hold on. You see where it was, lay, unconscious, an elemental.
Aw.
A stone panther. Lay.
My God. Lorna is going to look at Tier and be like, Tier.
What is that?
Excitedly at it. Elemental.
What is that?
It's an elemental animal. I thought that would be clear from the name.
No, I mean...
Make friends.
Tier will approach this unconscious stone panther. You see, like, its whole body, what would be the fur is instead like these smooth, almost scales of shale. There is...
Scale.
Yeah. It's clear this elemental is accustomed to hiding in the sands. It's the same
so
color
cute.
as them. And as it lay prone, unconscious, Tier is like investigating it, and he says, This is a dire panther elemental? I didn't know you could have that happen.
Wouldn't it be a great friend?
I'm concerned someone turned it into that Zephyrian. Someone did that to it.
I don't know what that means.
Someone bound this creature into that monstrosity. A Zephyrian it's like chaos bound to a living spirit. Normally, they're from the Beastlands. They kind of manifest. But for it to be here, someone cursed this to be that.
Oh. So we helped it?
Maybe. I don't know.
You should heal it and be nice to it and give it chicken.
Give it chicken? I don't have
I don't know. What do they eat?
I don't know.
Do they eat rocks?
Tier is like, he's like floundering as he's like looking at this stone panther, and he pulls
What should
out.
we name it?
He pulls out a tome that you've never seen him pull out before.
Ooh, he's referencing something.
Yeah, it's like a small leather-bound journal that he's looking through, and as he looks down at this panther, he looks at the rest of you and he says, "I might need your help to restrain it."
By all means, I have web.
Lilith moves up next to Norre. Let me know when, big guy. And Anscombe, like, looks at you. When am I gonna get tired?
No.
Oh, just okay. He like collapses for a moment. Tierra's going to cure wounds.
Dear, can you talk to it?
Maybe it might be a good idea. Right, I'll do that first. And he casts Speak with Animals on himself, and then
New friend.
he casts Cure Wounds. And as he does, the stone elemental panther's eyes, they're golden and they open. And immediately the panther like tries to leap to its feet, and you hear Tier like just like this strange rumbling sound comes out of his mouth, and he looks surprised as he hears it. He's like, "This is what this sounds like." Okay, but as that happens, he like looks at Anscombe and Loeth and Nori, and he's like gesturing, and so Anscombe and Loeth are going to try and athletics hold this panther. Okay, this is contested. Together they rolled a 24 and a 20. Panther rolled a 19. They managed to grapple the panther before it flees, basically. And Tier starts to talk to it and speak with animals. Go ahead and for Tier, I want you to roll me a d20 plus 7. That is his persuasion.
Come on, Pen, roll good. Can I give him my
13.
Vicar boon? Did I use it already today?
It's a new
Today's
day.
a new day.
I'll allow you to use it on somebody else.
Really? That's a 14. That's a 14.
14.
Can Lorna hand him chicken?
You want to try and assist by giving him some ration? Sure. Go ahead and roll it again to represent advantage.
You said I could roll my Vicar boon again if I re-roll, right?
Yes.
Really? Good God gracious. Okay, come on, D10. The same roll.
Not quite. It's one more.
Is it?
Yeah, you rolled a 13 and a 1.
Oh, right. You're right. So 14 is the best that we did.
As Tier is having this conversation with the Stone Panther, Tier looks up and he looks at Lilith and Anscombe and he almost snaps like, "Let go! Let go!" And he does, and the Stone Panther stands up looking at Tier, and this thing is big. Its shoulders are as tall as Tier is. And he's looking at this thing, and as he's talking to it, you don't know what he's saying. Roll me an insight check.
Okay. Roll better. Why couldn't I have rolled that? 27 for me. Insight check.
You get the impression Tier is, bargaining?
Oh, alright.
Eventually, the panther, begins to move away, but then stops. And he begins to, circle, like he's looking. And Tier looks at you and the rest of the group, and he says, "Okay, so he doesn't have a name, or at least he wouldn't tell me it. I asked him if he would be an ally. He said that there's a mage out here that trapped him in that form, and if we help him kill him, he'll help us."
I'm for it.
How about the rest of you? And Skolna nods. Anscombe...
Yes. Of course she does.
Anscombe says, "Yeah, I mean, that seemed like a horrible fate. Absolutely." Nore just kind of holds a hand up and says, "Yeah, why not?"
It's a good story.
Lilith just looks at everybody and she says, "Well, does it matter what I say now?" And Tier's like, "No, but it's nice if you're on board." And Lilith says, "Yeah, sure." And so Tier turns to the panther that's kind of circling, and he says something in Panther.
Pantherese.
And the Stone Panther just kind of sits and looks at him. Okay.
Lorna would do anything to get a new friend for Tyr.
We have some tracking to do. And as you come to this conclusion with the Stone Panther who's very hurt but is alive, that is where we will call tonight's session.
New friend, new friend, new friend.
As we get here, I want to thank you for playing with me tonight, and I hope you had a good time. To those of you who are at home or at work watching, hi Penn, hi class, hi Emily, hi
Hello.
everybody else. We love you all, and I wish you a good night.